Hello all, I am Kurt from the Trading Options for Cashflow channel. In this video I will show the options trading journal spreadsheet that I use every day to record and track my options trading transactions. Option traders invest a lot of time in planning their trades and managing option positions. Keeping track of our option trading records in a good and easy to manage journal is probably one of the most important and crucial steps for every trader to become a highly profitable option trader. This new and fully customized spreadsheet I have created in Google Sheets is ready for use and is a digital download. I will show where you can download it at the end of this video, and I will add the links in the comments below. This journal spreadsheet has become a perfect trading history logbook for reviewing strategies and past mistakes and successes. I have been tweaking this spreadsheet completely to my liking, and now it helps me to track my positions, to review my results, filtered for specific period, and it also gives me indications to take actions by calculating triggers and color alerts in the spreadsheet where required. In this video I will illustrate the benefits and the features of this option trading journal that set this spreadsheet apart from other simple tracking spreadsheets. I will show what data I find useful to track, and my advice to all option traders is that they should start a trading journal right from the start, because I'm convinced it's simply one of the most effective ways to improve your trading performance. So let us start with showing the most important features. This spreadsheet has four main tabs: the logbook itself, tracker of all the transaction data; secondly, the results page, with the very useful possibility to filter by period, trader and account. More on that later in the video. Thirdly, the portfolio overview, and the last tab is the instruction tab. There is a fifth tab which is called the backend data, and that one serves for the functioning of the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet has three main parts: an opening position part, a follow-up part, and a closing position part. As you can see here, some fields are drop-down fields with the data linked to the list in the Data Fields tab. The white or the red cells are the ones that you manually edit, and the gray cells are calculated automatically. The red cells indicate that those fields are required. When you select the new open trade with the drop-down, the required fields are indicated in red. Let's take a look at the tracked data by inserting a new imaginary transaction for this video. First of all, if you need to add new lines, you create the required number of inserted rows via the insert command, and next you copy this row. Here it's called copy row, named copy row, and we copy it over the inserted lines, just like this. Now, you can personalize the spreadsheet by adding the trader's ID and account IDs that you want to track separately. You can do this in the tab Backend Data. You should also determine the portfolio goals, which will create colored indications in the spreadsheet. I will keep them at the parameters as I use them right now. Before entering a transaction, the user should enter the portfolio parameters. In this tab, the user can enter updated information about the accounts in the orange table. The same principle is valid here to insert new rows when required. The data in the orange table serves to calculate the portfolio situation used in the rest of the spreadsheet, also used for the colored indication when required. So here, for example, I will add account 1, started at a specific date, and I can add updated info in new rows above the last one each time I want or need. You see that the blue table will update its data with the latest info about the portfolios. Okay, so let's enter a trade now and make this clear. I will adapt the column sequence number, and I select trader 1 and account 1. Next, I enter the data for the transaction. Let's imagine I'm opening a new sell to open transaction, and I notice immediately which fields are required to be filled in for the transaction. I can type in the date, but easier is to double-click the field and select the correct date. So let's say I'm opening a new trade on November 1st, 22. In that case, the field date transaction and the date initial is the same. In case I'm opening a new line because I've rolled an old position into this new open position, I will enter the date of today as a transaction date, and the date of the initially opened position will remain the same. I select the ticker, Apple for example, and this stock is at the moment of the transaction trading at $145. And I open a short put with a strike of 130, which I will also briefly describe in the description field. The expiration date is January 20th, 23. The quantity of contracts is 1, and the premium, let's say, is $1.50. The broker fees are, for example, $2. The buying power requirement or the margin requirement for the opening trade is $1,500. This is a given by your broker. Because I've determined that I prefer to keep my individual trades below 5% of the total of the portfolio, I will get a calculate percentage and a colored indication in this field. I track the implied volatility rank and the SPY beta weighted delta, and the POP, the probability of profit of the option at the moment of opening the position 2. So I can enter them here. The fields total credit, debit, and the DTE, days till expiration, are automatically calculated based on the data entered. Okay, now the opening data is entered, we need to do the follow-up at the frequency we prefer or as we are used to doing it. This is done in the options current follow-up part of the transaction. Here we need to enter or update the actual or the current price of the option and the actual or the current SPY beta weighted delta. You notice that the field action will change color based on the portfolio goals or parameters that you have determined on the top left of the spreadsheet. It is red now, but once I update the data, it will adjust. Imagine that the premium drops to 50 cents. The field will indicate that I should manage the position taking profit early, because if I close the position or buy back the position at the price of 50 cents, I'm already making more than 50% of max profit, to be exact around 66%, and this while I have set the goal at 50% of max profit. So here this field gives me a colored indication of actions that I should take. The other parameter I've determined for managing early is managing at 21 days till expiration, 21 DTE, and in case the option does not go my way, I've set to manage the position at 200% of the initial premium received. My goal here is not to explain the why of these parameters, but the fact that I have incorporated them in the spreadsheet as a useful feature for option premium selling traders applying the tasty trade principles. Imagine now that I will close the position at 50 cents. I will do this in the last part of the transaction data named closing or adjusting data. This I will do by selecting the transaction date. So let's say I will close it today on November 13th, 22, and you notice that once the closing date is entered, the fields in the follow-up part change to closed. Next, I need to select the type of the closing transaction. You must choose between buy to close, sell to close, or roll. When you roll a position into a new one, in the spreadsheet, it will automatically close the row or the position, and you need to open a new line with adjusted parameters. In this case, I will close the short put position by buying back the option, so I will select BTC, buy to close, and I fill in the required parameters. The price of the underlying and the IVR at closing are data fields that I can enter to allow better analysis later on, but they are not really required fields. Required are the quantity, in this case 1, the premium, in this case 50 cents, and let's also say the fee stays the same at $2. Also here the total credit or debit and the number of days the position was held are calculated automatically. The results fields are also calculated automatically with the net profit or loss, the return on capital percentage, and the annualized percentage return on capital. I always add additional comments in the field comments when rolling a position. For example, this means when I roll a trade and enter a roll in the spreadsheet, I will need to open an additional line with the new option data of the new position. I usually mention in the comment, like I said, for example, rolled out in time to the new expiration date of X for a net credit of X cents, and so on, just to explain what happened. Now, with this line filled as an example, let us take a look at the second tab, the Results tab. Here I can have a good look at my results with the possibility to filter on trader, account and period. Let's say I want to cover all traders, all accounts, and this for the last 3 years. I select all 2 times and I enter the correct period. You can see you get an overview of all the useful parameters of all the trades made over that period, and also an overview of the distribution per strategy with a graphical representation of the results. In my case, I use 2 brokers, and my partner and I, we both do trades. So this way I can really filter the individual result if I want to. I find this an excellent feature I have built into the spreadsheet. Let's say I want the results for the period from the 1st of October till the end of November. After selecting the period, the results adapted to this period will appear automatically. So very useful for reporting. The next step is the Portfolio Update tab. Here I can make updates on the portfolio theta and delta parameters that I'm trying to meet. These are percentages of net lick that I'm aiming to with my portfolio. Again, my goal for this video is not to explain the why of these parameters, but just giving you the fact that I've incorporated them as a useful feature for option premium selling traders applying the Tasty Trade principles. In this case, I'm aiming to keep my theta of each portfolio between 0.1 and 0.5%, and the theta goal is set to 0.3% of the net lick. And for example, for my delta, I'm aiming to keep my delta between minus 0.1% and plus 0.1% of the account's net lick. These numbers are translated in real values based on the net lick of the account, and if I meet the goals, the fields in the blue portfolio table will color green. If I don't meet the objective, the fields will color red. As I said, the orange table is used to add update information about the portfolio, such as, for example, net lick or theta. This is info I will get from my broker's software. This info is used to update the blue table. Pay attention, you should not overwrite the fields in the blue table. Okay, to finish up, let me just point out that there is an extensive instructions tab you should read, and also a backend data tab that is used for the good functioning of the spreadsheet itself. I really have tweaked this spreadsheet to the way I trade, but I'm convinced it's useful for many premium selling option traders. So if you have any suggestions for improving the spreadsheet, please do let me know. Okay, as I promised, now how can you get the spreadsheet? The spreadsheet is available for our VIP patrons via the 1-month download period, or you can buy the spreadsheet also in our Etsy shop for less than the price of one positive option trade. Basically peanuts for having a nice fully customized tool to do an efficient and profitable follow-up of the options strategies that you are applying. You are also invited to join our Discord community to talk and share about our option trading learning process. And you can also join us, of course, on Twitter. All links are mentioned below this video. I hope this was all clear for you. If this helped you, or if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. That's all for now. Talk to you soon.